And we're back with another episode of Let's Play Shining Force, the worst party, voted by you, the viewers. Okay, so we're in Trigonia. I've leveled most characters to 4 level 5, with a few exceptions. Some are still level 3. Yogurt cannot level, so clearly that's a thing. And we're moving along here. Kind of gotten characters back to where they were statistically a little stronger, because now that they're promoted, their growth has changed. The way that they grow. So some of them actually have more attack than they did defense when they promoted. Arthur's learned all of his spells. I know that sounds weird because many people don't get Arthur very far, but he does learn magic. He actually learns Blaze 1, Freeze 1, and Bolt 1. And regardless of how you feel about it, it is kind of funny that he learns that stuff. And our casters currently have their primary spells at level 4. Tao has her Blaze spell at level 4. Henri has her Freeze spell at level 4, but I don't care about that because long term she's coming out. I'm trying to think of what else is going on. She learned Bolt herself. I think you guys, we should learn that earlier anyway, so that's not a big deal. Yeah, and so characters are holding their own pretty nicely. You can see I'm having Lo and Gong go on the offensive because they're just capable of doing it. Even with the crit, you know. And they're still getting maximum XP growth, so, you know, say what you will, but that's gonna work out quite nicely in the long run. But because Lo and Gong are behind, I'm actually going to use this battle. I'm going to finagle it in a way that it allows me to get them some XP, because I want to get them at least to 5 for sure, because they're going to... I've always had, for as easy as it allegedly it is... For as easy as it is to allegedly level healers, I've never had good luck leveling them, unless they fight. Which is why I'm glad that they have enough meat on them, you know, on their offense in this particular variant of the... In this particular installment of the series, the priests can actually fight back. Whereas, like, in Shining Force 2, they only can... Usually if they're under the effect of being a master monk, you know. The priests tend to have struggled a little bit in Shining, in the later Shining installments to do damage, unless they're a monk, because I believe in every installment after Shining Force 1, they separate in Shining Force 2, they tend to separate the monk class as its own thing. Because I remember in the Shining Force Gaiden games, they have monks that heal, and then they also have like one priest. So you have one dedicated healer type, and then you have these hybrid offensive healer types. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm not going to say that I prefer that layout. I kind of don't. I kind of would prefer that they stick to something more like just priests and then maybe one monk, but I guess they somehow figured out that would balance better. I don't know. That's all I can assume that they thought was going to work. So you take that with what you know, what you can, or what you will. So yeah. But I do want to get Gong and Lo to level 4 or 5 before the end of this fight. So I might knock a few enemies off here, but ultimately I'm going to hold off on killing the mage type characters. To let Gong and Lo go and deal with them as they can, because Lo is asleep, so that's already going to make things horrible. I'm going to have to wait for his goofy ass to wake up. Because we got 2 more battles in this chapter to do, which I do pretty much plan on doing. Get rid of him. Nice crit. So yeah. As far as characters go, yeah, Arthur, and Gunce, just for people wondering too, I don't know why people think Gunce is a bad character, why he was voted like 2nd worst. I still stand by Hanzo probably being 2nd worst, not just because of when you get him in the game, Because even if you take that out, he never seems to achieve the damage output of other characters. Now, a lot of people say, oh, but he gets an instant death skill. And I'm kind of like, that's great and all, but it never seemed to kick in very often for me, if ever. So if it doesn't kick in very often, it's kind of negligible because you're like, well, he could get a critical hit in the same breath. You could make the argument that he gets he gets critical hits. We're gonna send Lowe down south on his turn because he's, behind in killing things. And I don't want him to be so far back we can't get him up there. And again, the next fight, there's no leveling attempts that are going to be made, per se. And the reason being is that, those outdoor fights just suck for trying to level characters evenly. Which I like to do, because it helps move things along. That's probably the worst level Hans has gotten since he's been promoted. You know what? We're gonna bring them both down, I think, after that, because Gong didn't get the kill. Which means Gong's got to spend another turn up there, and I don't want to waste more time, since we should be on our way, And I figured we were close enough to leveling. I didn't want to waste your guys'. I didn't want you guys to. I didn't want these characters to be over leveled, because that can happen in this game, in this kind of run, very easily. Where you accidentally overlevel your characters because you're trying to get other characters to catch up. Should have saw that coming. Alright, let's get Low down there. Let him heal himself. We'll send Amon up there to finish off that gargoyle. Because yeah, we need to get Gong down so he can fight those golems and stuff that are almost dead, the casters and what have you. Perk of the flying, right, is it's easy to get him to move along. Yeah. And the one thing about Shining Force 1 is it is a lot easier to level characters in Shining Force 1. And some of you might say, well, how is that possible? And my stance has always universally been, the reason it's easier is because enemies don't move in Shining Force 1 like they do in Shining Force 2. You could be standing literally catty corner from a boss or, at range, and that boss will not come up and whack you in the head. Now, in the later chapters of Shining Force 1, they start wising up a bit, but it goes on long enough that you can almost make a thing out of it. That's how long that kind of gameplay AI element goes on. So I tend to think Shining Force 1 is probably the easiest of the Shining Force games when it comes to fighting the AI. Just because of those factors. What makes it harder than some of the other Shining games is the way that the game scales, in my opinion. It scales pretty harsh. And so enemies start kicking your teeth in pretty early on. Or no, rather, when they start kicking your teeth in, they really kick your teeth in. Would probably be a more accurate statement. In other words, the enemies are, as you fight enemies, they as they get hard, as the curve goes up dramatically is really the best way to describe it. I'm struggling to describe it properly. So Low is there. Okay, they're both pretty full. He might actually kill this outright. Almost. And we'll leave these kills to Low. I mean, we should be somewhat careful because they might gang up on Low and kill him. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully Gong gets a turn before then. I'm going to actually do this. Prevents the golem from getting a hit on Low. Because Low's defense well, actually his defense isn't very good either. Yeah, it's about as much damage as the magic, so take what you will of that. But then, yeah, that way Gong can go in there, get the kill. Hopefully on the golem. Lo's gonna have to heal himself. That'll put these guys at 4 and 5 respectively. Which, as far as I'm concerned, oh, look at those stats, 5s, baby. Yeah, we'll go in and kill the master mages with whoever we really want. That's not a caster, and not Jogger. You can get a kill on something else down the road. I don't care that much. I mean, what is he at? 54. Yeah, he's doing fine. It's actually a good idea, since I forgot he's still at level 4. He still needs another kill. And I don't really want him too involved in the fight with Kain, as much as you would think that he would be, right, story-wise, but ultimately, you gotta be slightly weary of that. Because he could get gibbed by Kain pretty much in one turn, so even at the current level we're at, he could get easily killed off, so we don't really want Jacktard fighting Kain. So we just don't want that. So if I want to get Jacktard to level 5, we're going to do it off of this Master Mage here. The Master Mage is going to do minimal damage, not going to be a big deal. Let's heal him back up. Big heal. And they're not going to come down and pick a fight with him. Because the AI is that way. Only when you cross the threshold of that cliff, and not even cross it, even if you're on that cliff, like if Amon goes and attacks the Master Mage from the cliff, that would be enough to draw the ire of the entire enemy mob. That's fine. We'll leave Gong behind to heal as needed. Lo's got enough MP. I also think Shining Force 1 has a much darker tone than the other Shining games, which I kind of like. The other Shining games are a little bit more playfulish, a little bit more lighthearted. This Shining game's got some dark stuff in it. Got some very deep, like, kind of tones. Thematic tones and stuff. A little darker than the other Shining games, rather. Probably closer to Shining Force 3, as far as the tone is concerned. But even Shining Force 3 is more like a big epic war style kind of set of themes versus Shining Force 1, which is just all around just bad things are happening. The enemy, looks are much darker. They're not as cute or silly looking. They're much more serious of a look. So it just depends on what your preference in style. But I always found Shining Force 1's look to be a little cooler. in various cases, like the way that some of the characters look. He still didn't level off that. That means he's like one attack from leveling, yeah. Put Amon about there. We put Hans there. See, even if we're attacking them, they're not going to come down and attack us. So we can easily get rid of that bottom row of enemies, which is what I would usually what I prefer to do. just so you guys can enjoy this. Arthur using Bolt. Though yes, his melee attack is stronger to a single target. It's just fun to watch that. Now let's go in here and pick off and clean house. Though we could have used magic to finish off that bottom row. I'd rather just go in there and get this started. And I am gonna take off the thing that makes Tao look in her thong, because I like the way that the characters look when they're in. This is like the best look, I think, for the casters is in any Shining game, is the way they look in Shining Force 1 with the staff hovering over their head. I always liked that. And they never brought that idea back. Never understood why they never brought it back. Go after that High Priest. And of course, Amon fails me yet again. I'm starting to get kind of used to that constant failure. Go and heal himself. Clearly he could use it. And that's fine. That's, you know, that's... I was expecting, since Amon missed, he'd get a heal in somewhere. But that means now we're gonna really bum rush Kain after we kill that High Priest. Like, we're probably gonna lose one unit in the process here, but, you know, what can you really do about that? Let's put Tau there, because we've got level 4 spells, which is great for single target damage. And Ken's probably dead. Yeah. Now again, if we were playing like a harder mode, like if we were playing with no deaths, you probably would understand that I'd be grinding so heavily that these characters would be level 15 and just unable to die because of the amount of grinding I would do to get them caught up. Or not even caught up, but just to make them impenetrable to anything Kain does. Which you can do if you really want to. Once they're promoted, they're pretty much, you know, you kill a bunch of the weaker enemies in this fight, and you just repeat it ad nauseum until they're max level. Like, for this area, which technically you could argue is around level 20. Which means you can max level all the characters by the end of chapter, what are we in, 5? But we're not going to do that. I'm not that, you know, there's no reason to go that far, rather. And if I was doing a no-death run, then yeah, I'd just sit here and just grind my way to victory, pretty much at that point. So far, I don't think Joggert's been killed once, but he has killed. Meh, I want somebody else to kill it. Against my better judgment. Because there goes Amon, unless he dodges. Get guns. And then David Bowie shows up. And really quick, we're gonna sell off all the access gear that we got here, because it'll be a while before we get to it. It'll be a while before we get to another legitimate town. So it just makes sense to dump off everything here. Power staffs can go. Okay, we're good. That makes me feel better. I just don't like having cluttered inventories, and it kind of gets on my nerves when it happens. And thus, big hole in the wall. Now, with that said, we're going to go ahead and resurrect the two characters that got offed by Cain here. And then we're going to power our way through the rest of this chapter, so hopefully we can be done with it by the start of the next chapter. Because I think it's in a next chapter we don't get any... I don't think we're going to get any characters that we can use. But the chapter after, I think we get 2. No, that can't be right. Oh, I want to say, though, we get... Okay, we might get 1 character next chapter, and then I think we get Adam after that. I think. Could be wrong. I'm forgetting the order in which... I think Adam comes after Aleph and Torsu. But we will see. What am I doing? I missed something. I missed something back in the town. Usually we go right into a battle. No, I gotta go back to that other town. Dirt. We don't need to buy any gear or anything. We don't need to buy any items, so we just really need to come back here and... Yeah. Talk to Kryn. Oops, wrong way. So we then go to her sister. Alright, the Chaos Breaker, and we're actually going to end up with a really great sword at the end of this, you know, at the end of this chapter, which means we're going to be passing that battle sword over to Amon, which will be nice. Of all the characters who haven't really gotten better attacks, it's really Gong and Amon. And even Hans is slightly a little lesser in damage than we would want. Okay, kid. You're killing me here. Oh my god, you little bastard. Get out of the way. We still can't leave yet anyway, so... Guess we still gotta talk to his sister again. so there. That should move things along. There we go. Come on, kid, move. Move. Kid sitting there going, I held off for 10 seconds to the leader of the Shining Fires. There's Mishila. As we now fight in one of the longest outdoor fights in the entire game, just because of how ridiculous it is. Again, but at the same breath, we'll get through it, just like we've gotten through everything else. Amon can actually take care of himself in this fight a bit better than he could before. Just because I want to see if we can pick off this gargoyle. And here's the thing, I don't care about level. In these outdoor fights, I don't care about, you know, levels being gained equally. I just want to get the battles kind of done with, because they suck that much to do. They really do. So anything we can do to speed the process of these fights along, the better. Yes. So this is bringing up the Belials, who I believe can use Bolt 2. Or is it Muddle 2? Ah, Bolt 1. So we got, it looks like, 2 new enemy types. The Belial and the Horse Archer. Which I don't remember what their name is called, but whatever. Not my concern. They all die just the same. Bow Rider. Which is pretty much an upgrade from the Sniper and Dark Elves that they had before. Nice crit with the level 1 Blaze spell when it's not needed. Let's move him back a little bit. Because the knights, in order to, the characters with lances and spears are definitely going to benefit from that ranged option. That's why you always keep a ranged option on a character. Because when you need that range, man, does it help to be able to actually produce that range. Get the range attack the way you need, where you need it. Amon is kind of our little wall for these Belials. I don't expect him to kill them, yeah. He's not going to kill one, but he's definitely going to prevent them from moving north. North-ish. I'll leave the ranged weapon on Arthur for now. Because again, chances are he might have to use it, so. I hate these. The one thing I do hate about Shining Force 1 are the outdoor battles where they're in all this dense foliage. I think it looks nice. It makes the map look very, like, creative and very detailed, but the problem is that it makes these battles drag out way too long. And this is going to be my biggest complaint throughout the game, is just these outdoor fights and how much I hate them. Because they're unnecessarily long. And because of that, all the ground units get defense bonuses, dragging the fight out even further. So it's not just dragged out because of the terrain, it's dragged out because the enemies get defense bonuses as well. You get those same bonuses, but like I said, it drags the fight out. It makes the fights take longer. Almost like it was unintentional filler. I don't want to lose anybody in this fight because I don't want to have to, you know, go back to town, but if we lose somebody, we'll have to revive them. I'll try my best to prevent that from happening as long as I can, but With Amon, I make no promises because he could get swarmed based on where he is located. And there's how many Belials? Oh, there's only one Belial. If he gets the hit, he may not kill this Belial. So this might have been a better decision. Oh no, he got the kill. Okay, so he can come back after killing that one, get healed, and he can work on the other Belial. That opens the path. And why you should always have an archery unit with you. Because they get that free, delicious range. Ooh, he can melee. Let's go for the Bow Rider. Because I don't like the Bow Rider. Makes me think of May from Shining Force 2 all the time. So to be fair, their bow launcher looks pretty badass, not gonna lie. Then again, Lyle gets a bazooka, so... say what you will. Oh shit, he still has a spear. I should have put the lance back on him. It didn't matter, he missed anyway. It can, strangely enough, taking more damage than a lot of the other frontliners. So this is an observation to make. Oh, he got hit with a crit. Oh, lame. Lame. We'll have to revive him in the we'll start the next fight, and we'll warp back and revive Amon, because Amon needs levels, and actually Amon can get some XP in the next fight a little more easily than other characters due to the way the last fight of this chapter's room is laid out. So that's pretty lame. Get rid of that gargoyle. Or at least try to. May as well, since he's kind of stuck in there. Okay. Get him, Gort. There we go. Luckily, this is probably the most of the AoE we have to worry about. And the reason being is because the Belials have such great movement, whereas the Master Mages don't. And usually we can get a drop on the Master Mage with various units. Whereas with the Belials, we can't really get the drop on them without Amon and Gunst, because Gunst has got that mobility ring. You could also argue Hans can get the drop on them better than we can too. So you just take that in stride. That's the best you can do, you know? Our priests aren't going to get into much combat in this fight, so definitely don't mind getting hit by the bolt, because now they have a job to do. Much bigger job to do. So that'll give them some free XP that they probably wouldn't normally have gotten. if we killed all the Belials and all the Master Mages and stuff really quickly. But we definitely don't want to get hit by Bolt again. So we guarantee the kill here, because it's a flying unit. The one perk of having Arthur, it's guaranteed damage. And there's no way that you will not hit that, enemy. We kind of have Gong move with the front line a bit more. We can have Lo hang back with the rest of the characters. As Gong's MP is starting to average out a bit more so. I think Lo still has the most MP, but I think Gong's starting to catch up with his amount of MP. At least it's enough that he can sit there and cast some level 1 heals for quite a while. We do want to get Jack Tard involved, not in this fight, but definitely in the next one. And once he actually gets the sword, the Sword of Light, it's like, it's going to be night and day getting him to level, because he can just sit there and spam the Sword of Light, and he'll just level up just solely on AoE damage, even if you were not using him directly in melee combat. As much as I want Gort to get up there because his movement is so good, I kind of don't want him to get up there because his movement is so good, and he's hurt. He's already hurt. I mean, his movement's not that good, rather. We'll start pulling in these bad guys here. Yeah, there we go. The only threat really is the Master Mages, because Gong, Gunce, and even the Knights for that matter can take damage pretty well. They take melee attacks pretty well, and since the High Priest don't have an offensive spell, I believe in this game, we don't have as much to worry about with regards to that. Look at that. I don't think Yager is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he is affected by terrain. God, he can't get a break anywhere. He's just all around top tier garbage. Quick, level 2, nice. I don't think we've used this as an item, so we'll use it now. If it breaks, then oh well, because we weren't going to use Gort much anyway. I think we're even going to get a better axe soon. God damn it. This terrain! This is why Xylo is nice to have, too. I regret letting Amon die the way I did, the more I think about it. Wow, but then, see, the Belials could have ganged up on, you know what? Guns here. They could have ganged up on our healer, on our healers, our casters, or even even Jack Tard Max himself, and they could have technically ended the fight. We got a 9? Is that a 9 to defense? Jeez, pro. How did he get voted worst? How could you all let that happen? He's becoming almost a demigod. For, like, worst specialty character? Really? I think a lot of it, for those of you at home, is the movement. I understand where it comes from. His movement is trash. And that mobility ring could go on any other character. But to be fair, it's like there's 3 characters it could go on. And I don't see either of them being a bad option. So if you're wondering, it's going to be Musashi, Gunce, or Adam, right? They're the ones that really need that mobility ring. But ultimately, it's kind of like he's so good at what he does. Gunce is, and you get Gunce before you get Musashi or Adam, long before you get them. So, you know, yes, Musashi in a casual playthrough is probably the best option overall. I don't know. I think Gunce is pretty good to a degree. I'm not to sit here and say he's the bee's knees of awesome, offensive power, but he's definitely not a bad character. And that's the thing. If I put a bad team together, I still might use Adam, but I don't know if any of the other specialty characters are bad. I can't really suggest that they are bad. That they are bad. Except maybe Adam. And even then, Adam isn't that bad if you level him. The hard thing to do is the leveling of Adam, which is what makes, him so difficult. May as well get blow some XP somehow. Nice crit. Just kind of want to keep pushing forward. Even though they're hurt, it's like, again, the Master Mages are the only threats to these 2 characters. So... because if anybody's going to end this battle, it's going to probably be Gunce at this point, because he can actually run down there and reach everything. And the sooner we get Hans to the forest, the better, because then he can easily walk around the outer perimeter. See if that draws the golem to us. Probably won't, but darn it, gonna try for it anyway. And it does! And look, this battle's just taking way too long for what's in it. Again, is my internal beef with the first game. Long, drawn-out exterior battles. As he one-shots a golem. Now, he has the halberd, so that changes things a little bit. And actually, I think there's 3 halberds in the game, so... yeah, something to keep in mind with the 3 halberd concept. Halberd concept. I think, or there's either 3 or 2. I think there actually might only be 2. Then there's the Valkyrie, which is the best spear in the game that's not, I think, cursed. If I put him down there, he's pretty much dead. Because the 2 Master Mages can use their magic to kill him off. That would just piss me off. See how they line up here. They're not lining up, so... Gunce could go and kill 1, he'd take damage, but then he'd be good. He'd be good to kill the 2nd Master Mage, but still, it's like... only I could get the other characters down there. Only if Amon was still alive, this would be a lot faster. To be fair. And that's my fault. I got a little too gung-ho in the beginning of the fight. No, I don't want to break it. I don't want it to be damaged from another trivial use here. just a +2 to his attack. Better than nothing. But yeah, once these Master Mages are out of the way, Gunst can handle literally the rest of what's down there. Thanks, Mobility Ring, for being the Mobility Ring. But then we'll have Gunst sit on the sideline for a few battles because he's just gonna be so freaking strong over the other characters. We need to get them caught up at that point. I'd like to get everybody to level 6 before the end of this chapter would be nice. But without it taking freaking forever. Well, even if we get everybody to officially level 5 or 6, I'd be okay with it. Probably 6 would be preferred. With the exception of Jack Tart, because like I said, he'll be easier. He'll gain so much XP soon anyway, with the Sword of Light, once we get it. How is Joger outrunning everyone? Just go right for the bowman, because it won't matter. If we kill the bowman, I think it ends the fight. Level to 8. Go figure. Oh no, I guess we do have to kill everything. Oh well. Which is fine, Gunst will still do it. Should have been Gunst and Amon. So Amon couldn't take hits like Gunst could, so you have to take that into consideration too. God, Jack Tart's still level 4. That still bugs me a little bit, but we'll get him caught up. Very little will be required in order to achieve that. Because the next fight's going to be much shorter than this one. I guarantee it. Okay, so let's go ahead and walk in here. We're going to egress so we can get Amon back, because we need to keep working on Amon. But yeah, this fight's not going to be too hard. We can mow through everything in this fight pretty easily. And based on the way that everything is laid out as well, it's not going to be too difficult to do any of that. Once we get to Mishila, then we start running into that, it's a boss. You got to take bosses very seriously. But yeah, Master Mages as a mob is just gonna get steamrolled. There's chests all over the place. We're gonna pick a lot of that up before the battle even ends, because there's some good stuff in a lot of those. And a lot of the chests in this fight. So we're definitely gonna do that. This episode's gonna go long, because I want to finish this chapter, within this episode, and I think you guys would agree that that's probably a good idea. Gonna make a hard save. Because if we can finish this chapter, we can go right into the next chapter and just keep moving along. Which is what I like to do in games like this. And in Let's Plays where we don't care about the story, we care about the mechanics and the strategy that is going into the development of this quote-unquote worst party. Again, I might do a run where I pick the worst characters, and see how that goes. The question is if I only use Adam as a specialty, who else would go in? I still think Amon's pretty terrible too, so we'll see. It's hard to say. There's a lot to think about. We're gonna send Arthur to the right to get that chest over there because he's so freaking far along in his leveling. He doesn't need to work on XP at the moment. And it's not that he's super far or anything. It's just he's level 6 already, going on 7. And as a knight, he will be able to catch up pretty quick to the party. Same with Ken. Ken will be going around to grab, I think, one of the chests on the far left. Because, again, actually we could send Amon for that, because it would actually be faster, but we need to level Amon up, so Gunst can kind of hang out in the back. Well, I could send Gunst to get treasure, but he only has one inventory slot, so it's kind of a moot point. Actually, I think I'll send Ken to the right, because he's further over that way anyway. Where's the other chests? Okay, there's one. I know there's one to the right. There's one, 2 all the way over there. 3 over there, technically. What's his inventory space? It's got room for 2. I guess Amon could grab that, but we'll worry. Okay, we'll worry about that a little later. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. A lot of chests in this map. And if we beat the main villain and grab the sword, I believe that ends the fight. So we want to grab every chest before we get to that juncture. And then there's 2 chests on the right side. Yeah, so there are a lot of chests in this fight, which is strange. I think a lot of them are half of them are consumables, and the other half are like really good items. That's why it's so important to get them. Jogger can just hang out back here for all I care. I think I'll move him up with me later, but not right now. Get a few here. God damn it, Hans. In case a caster can reach. Or Hans again. And is this battle worth repeating? If you didn't grind in Dragonia, probably, but I would say in most cases, nah. And the reason mainly being is that the enemies are a lot more spread out here. So, but the enemies aren't that hard to kill. These bow riders aren't a big deal, so the master mages and the priest grouping is actually pretty good for melee characters to pick off enemies very easily. So it's one of the things I would point out as being a really good way to look at it. Hopefully he doesn't get a crit. So we'll have, hopefully, Jaktar picking off a lot of enemies coming up here on his next turn. Mm. Give Jacktard here a big heal. And we'll just let anyone pick off the next one for the time being. Even though Jacktard could technically do it himself. Actually, we could trap the... Nice level. We could trap that Bow Rider in place, but it doesn't really matter at this point, because Max is already... Or, Jacktard's already in range of his attack, so... There's Power Potion, which we have not distributed any of that. And some of you might say, why haven't I done that yet, blah 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 blah. I don't think we really need to in this playthrough. I'm going to try to beat it without using any of the item power-ups, is pretty much what I'm getting at. Defense bonus 9, oh my god. Going off the rails. Alright, now that Gargoyle's done, we can start getting chests with these other characters. Defense 5. Still getting good MP. I don't think Arthur learns any level 2 spells, so Bolt is really his go-to, as it'll do the most damage, but who knows, maybe he will learn a higher level spell, who knows. This is also a good fight for us to work on Gong and Lo as well, on those mages and whatnot, because they all do pretty good damage to it. But I really want to get Jacktard up higher in level for sure. The Belials can be killed off by anybody as far as I'm concerned. The Dullahan's the same deal. Don't care who kills them off. And we can use Henri and Tao to kind of, you know, dish out some of the early little bits of damage to those mobs. Kind of soften them up. And if the Belials come after these two, at least they're together. They can handle each other fine. But we do need to get everyone in range. I don't believe those mages will move until they're in range of casting a spell on someone. I like the music here, I really do. Really, we should have Arthur take those, and we'll send Amon for that other chest once characters are more in position. Okay, now we're gonna soften these fools up. Because the priest can only heal one of those enemies, so, and even if it does, we can send Jacktard after the one that gets healed, because he'll probably kill it outright, most likely. But let's see what happens. And Gong and Lo should be able to kill off anything that's up here. That's damaged, which is what we're hoping for. and keeping him out of the range of the other master mages that are over there. Should have probably sent him all the way to the right, now that I think about it, but oh well. This is how you level up healers. You find the squishiest thing on the map, you soften it up for them, and you let them get the kill. And look at that, they're dumb. These enemies are dumb, too. Look at that, Ken's catching right back up. We'll have Arthur deal with these. The Evil Ring, which we can pass to anybody, really, for that matter. Oh, come on, Gong. You fucking idiot. Ah. How much room do you have on you? Only room for 2 items, so yeah, we'll let Arthur should have room for 1 more. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna send Amon up this way. We need Amon to have 2 spots in his inventory anyway. So this sucks. All because Gong fucking failed me. Which means Lowe's gonna have to go in there and get another hit. And of course, hopefully Jaktar gets another turn here, because he could probably go after that fresher Master Mage and see if he can slow that process down. Again, I want a level, so I want this to be done in a very specific way with regards to who gets kills and who's fighting what. There we go. Yeah, Gong's gonna keep failing me, and we'll just rely on Low here. Now some of you might say, well, he hit so hard he could have one-shotted him. You didn't need to use the AoE. AoE gets XP to the mage. And it's more of a guarantee. And the other thing is Gong's attack is not as high as Low's is, due to various means. And there's the Black Ring. So we have the Evil Ring and the Black Ring. I think one casts fire and the other casts ice. So, interesting. And there's a Healing Seed, which I don't really care about. But since you're there, you may as well grab it, right? And this is what I was afraid of, because we don't want Amon to die. So I might actually just power pull him away, because all of the Belials are now going to start going towards Amon and coming out to fight everyone else. Which I'm okay with, because we need to kill him one way or the other. Actually, we might even leave Amon there if it doesn't seem like it's an issue. Nice kill, Gong. Too bad you didn't level from it, you jackass. Okay. We're gonna have to do a little bit of healing before we deal with Mishila. Alright, Jogger, get in there, do some good. We have an extra healing seed, so I don't mind. Jogger saves the day! Put Low and Gong on healing duty, unless they can actually reach something and kill it right away. But with the Belials, I just don't trust it. Nice. Oh, come on. Kill me, Gort. You know what? Let's just guarantee that this thing is wiped out. don't think Arthur can help. Is going to be much help. Really quick, I want to check something. 2 chests up there, so we need somebody with 2 inventory slots. Well, okay, he can kind of help, but he ain't going to be able to help too much. Let's send Guns up to get 1. There's the White Ring, which would be quite useful right about now, in its own respect. Again, let's heal Jack Tard. Get everybody healed up before going after the biggin. Which shouldn't be a problem. There's a low. Oh, nice. Big attack bonus. That's good. That's very good. Amon's over there. So, unless he crits, he shouldn't kill Amon. Yeah, that's good. And he's not out of range of Arthur if we move Arthur in after... If we make Arthur go after the Belial as well. Joggart actually has 1 inventory spot, so we'll send him up there. Lo can heal himself. 39. Yeah, Gong and Lo have similar MP amounts right now. So far nobody's pulled away. Neither of them have pulled away from each other, I don't think. Yeah, 32, and what is he at, 39? Yeah, so that's still pretty close, within the margin of, I would say, or realm of reasonable. Oh, you know what? Let's give this White Ring to Lo. That way Arthur can reach with a bolt if he needs to. There we go. This fight will be over in roughly 5 to 10 minutes here. Shouldn't take too much more effort to finish this all off. Shower of Cure, which actually Jogger could hold on to, but I'm probably not going to let him. We'll probably pass that on to somebody else. Now, healing. Who needs healing? Would be Guns at this point. Not that I worry, but not that he needs to be healed, but may as well. Alright, let's start moving in on the boss, because I don't think the only wounded one is Henri at this point. No, it's actually just Gong himself. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to bring Amon down to get a good healing as well. Actually, I'd rather heal Amon over anyone else, because we need to send Amon around the side to deal with something. After I just said I'd heal Amon first, I end up healing Gong first. Yeah, you guys can't take me anywhere. That's fine. Because again, they're not going to move. So, since they're not going to move, it's not really a big deal to us right now how we go about this. What we want to do, we'll leave Jack Tard here on the steps. I believe we can do this with Henri. Let her try to kill off that Dullahan. And Mishila should not be able to reach from there, where she's at. I don't think she's going to move either, so that works out there. Yep, okay. We can move Gort over to here. Ken over to there. Give a big heal over to Amon, so we get him back to work, so to speak. We could kind of get Guns up there. We don't want to put anyone there. Okay, so now they're on the move, and that's fine. At least he's going after Ken. Belial's hit really hard. Too far away. You know what? Just because... We'll do this. Against my better judgment. I was going to save her last one for Mishila, but oh well. That means Tao can do it. And there's the Sword of Light. And Amon should be out of reach of Mishila. And this will allow Amon to get the sword to Jacktard, and Jacktard can pass his old sword to Amon. We can do that after the fight, though. Well, if we do it now, it's more feasibly more damage. It just depends. I think Amon can equip the Sword of Light as well, so I think. Don't quote me on that. Now we can end this fight, though, as far as I'm concerned. It's an alien! Nice. Tao levels to 7. Earns boost. Sweet. Makes her more functional, in a way. Guess the strongest thing we can really do is that. It's funny, because Mishila's wearing a similar outfit as the wizards, so it's kind of a neat little compare and contrast, if you want to call it that. And yeah, I backed her off because clearly Mishila might be able to reach our hero, and we don't want that. Just do it now. Get in there, Ken. Oh, god damn it. Boom, 63 damage. Give the broadsword to Amon. Guess I'll peel her off there. I didn't think it would hit Hans, but apparently it did. Because we can attack at range. That really doesn't help, though, now that I just realized that's like no damage. And the question is Arthur going to hit hard enough over Gort? Because if Arthur can hit harder, we'll probably send Arthur up there. .46 versus 46, so it doesn't matter who we send up there. Yeah, you know, I'm expecting characters to die in this fight just because of the Bolt 2. The real way to do it is really send up characters one at a time with an attacking from different sides. but for the sake of this fight, it's not going to work as easily as you would think. But now that we have the Sword of Light for Jacktard here, all things are going to nicely come along here. And remember, Arthur has magic, so we need Arthur to get the last hit in, we will. Oh, yeah! Gort freaking took him to town! So I don't think we lost anybody. Or if we did, I don't notice who's missing. Alright, and so that is another chapter done. Yeah, I think there's only, what, 8 chapters? So yeah, we get probably... No, I forget how... 8 chapters. Yeah, I think there's 8. So I think we get, actually... Aleph and Aleph and Adam in this chapter, I think. So, we'll see. Alright, so here we are in the new town. I don't really think there's much we gotta buy except for the assault shell for Hans. And Great Axe might be an upgrade for Gort. But we're gonna be getting rid of Gort soon pretty much anyway, so we don't need the broadsword, we don't need the chrome lance, we already got those. We don't need a holy staff, we already got that, so you know, I just saw that. I know we should be ending the episode here, but I just want to get this all geared up actually. But yeah. Where is... We know that that's going to be better. The Great Shot's going to be better. Sell off the steel sword. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to equip these new items. But he's already equipped. 47. Still not very great. His attack's starting to taper off here. Into the realm of lameness. Yeah, so there we go. Better item there. And everybody else should be roughly squared away. Alright, so this is a good place to stop, so I'm gonna go save really quick, and I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ActRStudios for more live gaming action, because when we come back, we will be tackling this chapter here, you know, hopefully getting everything sorted out and everything squared away with regards to gear. I'm going to kind of pass gear out as needed to make more room in our inventories and all of that, and then we'll continue from pretty much where we left off, because we're going to be picking up, I think we're going to pick up Adam, and I want to say Aleph in this chapter, which will complete our worst team, so yeah, hopefully we can get that knocked out quick, fast, and in a hurry. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys. We'll see you guys next time.